Okay, I'm here with Dan Bylina. Dan, I want you to tell me your old job that you were working while you were at Yellowtail and the new job that you are working at now.
All right. Well, I mean, before I became a Linux system administrator, I was a truck driver. I worked a 9 to 5 job, and I worked for like a normal factory job. Basically, is what they did was anodize, and I transported their parts from their main office to like different shops around St. Louis.
And now,
and now, I mean, I'm a system administrator. I work for Charter Communications, and my everyday is making tickets, doing a deployment, patching like overnight every once in a while, like on a Tuesday, and it's just different. It's something I've never done before.
You went from soup to nuts, man. It's like completely different.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So before we talk a little bit about that, I'm guessing that your financial status has changed a little bit as well, yeah?
Absolutely. I can honestly say that I doubled my paycheck.
Wow.
It's a good feeling when payday comes, and it just, ironically enough, today is Thursday, and it's payday.
And it's payday. So no wonder you got such a big smile on your face. So, well, I know when you started your job and we had talked a little bit, you said that, sometimes it gets to be a little confusing and maybe even a little overwhelming, but do you feel that Yellowtail gave you the foundations to hit the ground running when you started that job?
So sure, yeah. I mean, it's definitely comforting to have a good solid foundation when you start one of these jobs. I don't necessarily know everything, but I know exactly where I'm gonna start. For example, my work does Ubuntu, right? And it's a different language. I mean, like, you use Red Hat in the program, but the foundation steps are there. So like, if I need to run a code that needs to be done fairly fast, I can research what I need to do to implement that code faster than a normal person would.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately, I think that's the job of any good tech school, is to teach you those foundations, because the technology changes so rapidly. And when you have the basics down, just learning the syntax of a new language or something like that is a lot easier. I always use the example of, you drive a car here in the United States without any problem, and then all of a sudden you go to Ireland and you're on the other side of the road. And because you know all the basic principles of safe driving, it's just a matter of getting used to being on the left side,
Right. That's like the perfect analogy for it. I mean, it really is. I mean, I don't know. It goes hand in hand, but it's
exactly the same, right. Only different. So, well, that's great. So now you're working, tell me a little bit more about your schedule and everything. You're working kind of a hybrid at the office and at home type position now, yeah?
Right. So when I first started the job, I had to report every day. It's in St. Louis, and I live about 40 minutes away, which kind of sucked for a minute, but now I work a hybrid role, and it's great. I mean, I get to pick what days I actually need to go into the office. My boss is super chill about it. our rule is just we need to report 3 days out of the week. So it really doesn't matter what days I pick. It just, I got to be there. And time, basically.
Well, that makes it nice though, because I know, being a family guy and everything, it had to have been a little difficult just getting through the program, having a family, having kids, all of their activities and things like that. What advice do you have for those that are in the program that are trying to juggle all those different balls and, keep them all in the air at the same time?
Right. From like day one, you need to like have a conversation with, your loved ones and like work out a schedule. So like basically what I did was I worked my 9-to-5 job. I attended all of the classes, and then when I wasn't doing the classes, I had it in the schedule that I was gonna meet with my classmates or do, my own studying kind of deal. So like Monday was class time. Tuesday I would meet with, my cohort. Friday was usually for fun, and then I was back at it on the weekends. But we
I like
it sorted out, like what was family time and what was gonna be like what I was gonna put my all my brain knowledge to.
Yeah. I like that but you saved some time for fun too. You said Friday was for fun. And
you gotta have fun, man.
I think it's important that you have a balance.
When you're not having fun.
I know the program wasn't easy. I know, that it's a major commitment, and not only for you but for your family and everything. Because they're kind of losing you for a little while too.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like everything's new. I mean, but it'll go in steps, and as long as you take each week, with a grain of salt, then you'll head in the right direction every week.
Yeah.
Knowing
that it's a temporary commitment too, that kind of helps you get to where you are now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, it's crazy to think that last year I was just thinking about, having a job like remotely and, making a tech salary. And like, now it's kind of, I mean, like, I'm there. It's cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I don't even remember, like, how hard it was in the class. I mean, like, it's just in the past now, like.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's good. Tell me a little bit about, your support from Yellowtail. I know you took great advantage of the things that, of me and my job, help getting your resume pulled together, taking advantage of the mock interviews and different things like that. But I got the sense that you really kind of tied into the whole community here and had good relationships with, all of your professors and teachers assistants and other students as well.
So, right. I mean, like, that was like my favorite part about Yellowtail was going through this process with my buds. Like, I still talk to everybody in the Athena cohort. I mean, everybody that went through the program completely, there's still people trying to find jobs, and I'm still helping them out. Like, like, this is what I could do for you right now. And I mean, they either take the advice or don't, but I mean, I'm talking to everybody. I mean, it's really cool to have like a chat line with, some of those people got their job way before I did. Some of them got them, right when I got my job. And then, there's some people that are trying to still do the process, and, it's all like collaborated into one, and everybody kind of talks and
Well,
communicates what's going on. And that's what I really like about Yellowtail.
Yeah, they say it takes a village. And, again, I think that community and everything is out there and available to everybody. Not everybody takes as good of advantage of it as you did, but it is out there and available to everybody. And I'm sure that's one of the things you would say that helped you become successful. But in addition to that, what advice do you have for others that were in, the same situation you were? No technical experience, but looking to possibly transition into a career in tech.
Yeah, just finish it. I mean, like, jump in. I mean, if you want to get into tech, it's definitely possible. Like, I had no knowledge of it a year ago, and I went through the class, I learned Linux, and then I learned how to troubleshoot, which was definitely a skill you need to go through any tech environment. And you're also going to get the experience of going through an internship, which is like real life problem solving. And there's a lot of traits that go hand in hand with, the actual work environment. So like, if I want to go to like my senior, leader and, say, hey, I'm not really getting all of this. Like, I better have exactly what I've done and not waste his time. And that's exactly what you do in the internship. Is like, that's like the thing that I like to stress is like, the Slack is there for, everybody to kind of absorb all the information. So like, there's people that are already done with this internship and it's all in the Slack for you. It just depends on like how well it's documented and like how resourced you are to find that information. Because like everything's out there, you can Google it and it's in your Slack. It's just, the internship really teaches you how to like problem solve. And like, that's the same thing is like, if I bring it to like my boss, I better have exactly what I've done. Not waste his time, because he's going to be like, Dan, what is this?
What have you tried? Yeah. What have you tried? It's interesting, like even, talking with a lot of you administrators and then even a lot of my programmer pals, and I would ask them what makes them good at their job. And they, nobody would ever say, because I'm just, I'm really good at patching or I'm really good at containers. They would always say, I'm really good finding solutions or researching the problem. And, again, I think that's one thing that the apprenticeship really brings to you is that opportunity to hone your inner Sherlock Holmes, so to speak.
Right. It's like there's one thing to like know Linux, but I mean, like, I think that's the biggest thing you get out of the program is just like how to problem solve. Because I can't tell you how many times like I know nothing about the subject and I gotta like, do some research just to get into like this Zoom call and like, tribute information.
Yeah, exactly. So I got one last question for you. And prior to doing that, I want to thank you again for what you give back to the community and for remaining a part of our community and being an ambassador to our organization. For those that are going through the program currently, maybe struggling or maybe not, maybe everything's going well, but what advice would you have for them?
I mean, you're gonna get there is what I'm gonna say. I mean, like, as long as you put in the work and you treat the program how it's supposed to be treated, as in like leaning on your cohorts when you don't know the information, you're gonna get to, you know, graduation day. You're gonna get to see Rob and fill out your resume and apply for these jobs. Like, I guarantee you.